Good evening, ladies and gents. Good evening, ladies and gents. As you're coming in, please do raise your hand. And if you can see my screen and you can hear my voice, please raise your hand on the Zoom application so that I know we're in business. If you can see my screen and you can hear my voice, please raise your hand on the Zoom application so that I know that everything is in good order so that we can proceed. I'm not seeing any hands coming in, guys. If you can hear me well, or just pop a message on the Q&A if you can't hear my voice. Brilliant hands coming in. Thank you very much. Evening, ladies and gents. It is the 6th of October 2021 with myself and Njabulo Nsibande follow the trader series. I'm looking at a couple of indices to see if Simon was in any position. Certainly not in the US. The US has been taking quite a bit of hit recently. Would have triggered him short, but as I said last week, that he's only trading the long side of it. And I believe, is it Nifty? Nifty 50, let's see if it's possible that he got triggered in there. I'm not sure if it. I can't remember if it trades. I think it doesn't trade Nifty 50 because of position size issues. In any case, I got stopped on a couple of trades. Let me just move back there. I saw that in. I got stopped on Coronation. I had my stop raised to just below that low, just below that 50-day exponential moving average that got tagged today. I'm just going to wait for the stock to come back above that 52 rand level to rebuild that position. That's the level I was waiting for prior. So I'm just going to wait for the market to come back above that 52.50 level to rebuild this position. I also got stopped yesterday on Fushida Group. The stock testing that 200-day exponential moving average, and that's tagged there. So I'm just going to wait for it to come back above 138 to rebuild that position with the stop loss just below these lows around that 200-day rather exponential moving average on Fushida. Another stock that I got stopped on. Let me see. I got stopped on Vodacom. Stock coming back. It looks like that was a false break. So I'm going to wait for the stock to come back above 144, at which point I'll rebuild the position with an initial stop loss. Just to give it a bit more room, just below the 50 exponential moving average, and when the opportunity to add to the position comes in, I'll just then add it to that 140. But initially, I want to give it a bit more room. And then lastly, I got stopped on Capitec. I got stopped at a small profit. I think it was about 2% on Capitec. So I'm going to wait for 1910, for close through 1910, then I'll rebuild my position. Let's see if this level, I suppose perhaps, that old support, that old resistance there, let's see if it will hold. We'll see in time. But for now, I'm just waiting for a close back through that 1910 level. Now looking at the open positions. Upsa still looking good, going lower slowly. I'm just waiting for that 158 level, at which point I'll add to my position and raise my stop to on that 146 around that 52 exponential moving average. It looks like an inverse head and shoulders pattern there, forming that right shoulder at the moment. We'll see how that pans out over the next couple of weeks. It looks like the market doesn't care much for the deal Absa stock struck with I believe it was Sanlam selling the asset management business to Sanlam for 17% stake in Sanlam. Aspen found a bit of selling around that 275, 274, 275 level. It's been consolidating ever so slightly. So I'm going to wait for a price to come back about that 244, 274-ish. Yeah, 274 level, at which point I'll add to my position, raise my stop to just below the low where that swing low ends. We'll see how far that goes. But I think my stop is far away enough not to be triggered, but we'll see in time. So if stock closes back about that 275 level, I'll add to my position and raise my stop behind me. Ladies and gents, feel free to pop questions. If they're not time sensitive, I'll pop them to the end. But if they are, I will just answer them on the chart that we're looking at. Astral Foods testing that 183 resistance again. Seems to be holding at the minute. So if it breaks that level, particularly if it breaks it strongly with the new high close, I think it's going to be a new high close for the year. I'll add to my position and raise my stop to around that 163, around that 50-day exponential moving average on Astral Foods. Next is AVI. So it's been consolidating since I bought, trying to close the gap, but not closing it as quite. So I'm going to wait for a close through that 89.20 level, at which point I'll add to my position and raise my stop ever so slightly to that 81 level, just to build up the position a little bit. Next on the list is Butterworld. It did make a new high close. Yesterday I added to rather on Friday, I believe. I added to the position on Monday. Still going pretty much nowhere slowly, but we'll see in time. I want to see how long this 124 holds as a resistance when it comes back to test it. But for now, I'll just wait for the close through there and see how the chart looks like at that point in time. This came had a nice bullish divergence here. The stock broke back above, closing through that 50 exponential moving average. It did come today to test the old resistance, finding a bit of support there around that old resistance. So the price that I'm truly hoping for that will get through while I still have my position intact is that 32.46 level. If I can get through that level, with my goal is to get when the stock goes through that level, I still hold my position. Next is Distill. Distill looking good. Still a bit of selling there at the top of that 180, 192 box. So I'm just waiting for close through 192 box into a higher box. I'll just duplicate that for a second. So I'm going to wait for a close through that 192 level as the stock moves into a higher box. A higher box, still no clear indication as to what's the story around that Heineken deal with Distill. First trend holding that support line of the upper trend line. I'm just waiting for close through that. Let me just delete that for now. Close through that 66 rand level, at which point I'll add to my position and raise my stop to just below that trend line on first rand. Looking quite decent despite the recent sell-off on on first rand. Marlo is asking if I think the Distill deal will get dropped if it doesn't happen. I don't think so. I don't think Distill will drop if this Heineken deal doesn't happen. Maybe it'll drop somewhat because there will be a fair bunch of people who are who'd been buying on the stock, betting on that deal because of the price that has been flighting around on social media and the like. But if an offer of around 200 to 231, even if it's rejected either by the competition commission or the shareholders, that would surely push the stock higher because now investors has some sort of glimpse as to the value of the company. Maybe people will start to value Distill at around that 200 to 235 level. If Heineken was happy to make that kind of an offer, but we'll see in time. It's one of those that we'll have to I suppose wait and see. Glencore looked like it was going to just power through into a higher box, but held quite well at the top of that box. So I'll wait for it to close through the higher box and raise my stop to around that 70 rand level and add to my position behind me. Investec holding the base of its current, the the higher current box. It broke through and started to consolidate with a flat bullish flag there. But once it breaks that flat bullish flag after holding that base of that support, I'll add to my position and raise my stop slightly to that 60-50 level. And just wait on the sidelines to see if we can crack that 70 rand level. If we do, I will then add again to my position. Momentum also looking quite well, holding the top, support. What was resistance holding now is support with a bullish flag yesterday. I'm just waiting for a close through that 22 rand 30, at which point I'll add to my position. It's one of those prices that I got from historical resistance level. So if we can get through that 22.30 level, I'll add to my position and raise my stop perhaps to around that 20 rand 45. MTN Group also looking quite well. Did break the that resistance, so I will raise my stop to just below the 50-day exponential moving average around the 126. Just below those there. So I'll raise my stop to around that 126.70 level and add to my position. And wait for the market to give me to close through that 150 149 level to raise my stop to 132 and again add to my position. MTN is starting to look like one of the bigger trades, sitting at closely in terms of profit, sitting closely um, to about 20%. Could be wrong. I don't have the journal, but if you have access to the journal, you can quickly check it out. But MTN is sitting at a current at a low profit when you're looking at the current risk on the trade. Nedbank also battling with that 50-day exponential moving average, but still looking fairly stable. I'm waiting for close through that 177 level to start getting a bit more comfortable with the position. But the price I'm waiting for is at 188. As you can see, I had a position around that 181 level. So I'm going to wait for it close through 188 to add to my position and raise my stop behind me. Old Mutual, it's having quite a decent run recently. it's been having quite a decent run recently. Its own mutual it's looking fairly well as a trade. So I'm waiting for close to. Initially, I was waiting for close to that 17 rand level, but let's wait and see how that 16.95 rand level is holding up. But at the moment, I'm still looking at um, that 70 rand 80 level to add to my position and raise my stop to around that 15.75 15.70 levels. Pepco started moving into a higher box today. So I've raised my stop to just after the today's show. I'll raise my stop to just below that 20 rand 36 level and add to my position. And I'll also do wait and see how the stop. Perhaps that's the level I should just be waiting for instead of adding to the position tomorrow. Just wait for close to that 23 rand level, at which point then raise the stop to 20 rand 68. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. I think that's what I'll do. Um, Instead, so initially I had planned on raising my stop to that 26 rand 36, but now as I look at it with I suppose different eyes, I should be waiting for the 23 rand level. Let's see if the market remembers this level and respects it. Before I jump in. But if it does break through the 23 rand level, I'll add to my position and raise my stop to just below the 50-day exponential moving average, around that 20 rand 96 on the position, and that will be reducing the risk quite significantly, and I'll be adding pretty much another 1% risk on Pepco. Looking quite decent. Looks like perhaps that sign of sell-off was good for the stock. Pick and Pay, it broke through yesterday, breaking through that resistance level, that 59 rand resistance level. I started building up a position. So I'm gonna wait for a close through the 6150 level was respected to today, and it's an historical level that was quite a strong resistance prior. So if we can get through that 6150 level, I'll add to my position with a stop loss around the 55 rand 68 level. Remgro has been a mover recently. It had quite a decent run. Still holding on to the position, waiting for the close through the 144 level to add to my position and raise my stop behind me. At this point in time, I don't necessarily have a place that I'm targeting to place a stop. We'll see how the market looks like when it does get through that 144 level. It isn't too far. It's only about 5 rand away, which is about 7% on on this trade. Red merchant going no slowly after that huge gap up today. Um, so for now, let's just drop it there. So I'm gonna look for close to the 37, 38 rand level, but I'm gonna look for the proper pricing going back to let me just do that. Going back a little. Uh, yeah, there was a good level that was respected by the market at that point. So uh, if you can get through, so if we can get through that 38 rand level, I'll raise my stop to around that 36 rand and some change, and add to my position on red merchant, looking fairly decent at the moment. So now market seems not to care much about that deal with ABSA, but it's been stuck in this ascending triangle for quite a minute now. I'm just going to wait for it close to that 64.90 level, at which point I'll add to my position and raise my stop to just below the 200-day exponential moving average around the 59 rand level. But we'll see in time how the stocks and that performs. Sasol got on the go after breaking that 250 rand level. That was quite disappointing there for a second because I had a position which got stopped in, but I just jumped back in. It's been moving since, so I'm just waiting for close through the 305 level, at which point I'll raise my stop to around that 263 levels and add to my position. Shoprite pretty much consolidating, going low slowly, finding itself in a range-bound market. So I'm going to wait for close to that 190 level, at which point I'll add to my position and raise my stop behind me. I don't have a level I'm targeting for stop loss at the moment, but there's still quite a fair bit of distance between the current price and that 190 level that I'm aiming for. Summit Bank, it's like a nice bullish flag actually. Looks like a decent bullish flag at the moment, but I'm just waiting for close to that 158 level. Yeah, it looks like a decent bullish flag. If it breaks through that bullish flag, you can start building up a position with a stop loss there around that 133 level. But the level that I'm waiting for is at 148 level because I already have a position and entering there would mean rather that I'm adding to a losing position. So rather wait for that 148.50 level to manifest and add to my position, with the stop loss around the 138.60 level. Telkom broke through that consolidation period there with a fair bit of strength, looking fairly decent. I think the market liking this whole unbundling of the Towers business and of OpenServe for value unlock purposes. So I'm waiting for close to that 48 rand and some change, at which point I'll add to my position and raise my stop behind me. And last but not least is rather transaction capital moving into a higher box yesterday. I added to my position, raising my stop to around the 38 rand 36 level. So now I'm gonna wait for close to, let's see, 45 rand level. If you can get through 45 rand level, I'll also add to my position and raise my stop behind me. Ladies and gents, that's it for me. I do have a stock that I'll be buying tomorrow, which is Bitcop. So I'm gonna be buying a couple of shares on Bitcop with an initial stop around that 303 level. As it powered through there. So yeah, that's the last chart I'm looking at. It's the position I'm going to be start building up tomorrow morning. Ladies and gents, that's it from me. And if there's any question coming in, feel free to pop them in on the Q&A box or on the chat box. Remember, the video will be up in a couple of hours on YouTube on the VillageTrader ZA YouTube channel. Do subscribe. Do subscribe if you haven't already so that you don't miss any of the videos. Marlo is asking for clicks. So clicks is holding that support, what used to be a resistance level, holding it now as support. So I wanted back about the 50-day exponential moving average for now, but really the price that I'm truly would be comfortable in once the price breaks through is at 36 or 306 level rather. But at the moment, Not too bad, not too bad at all, not too bad at all. Holding that 277 wall as support. But let's see if we can break through that 50 exponential moving average. So, like he's asking that he's only seeing buy and he's wondering uh, uh, if we can short stocks. Certainly, you can short stocks. I didn't always stuck with the buy side of the market. If you just look at history there for a moment, I did have some short positions which got stopped. Those were positions I had earlier. I did. You have the ability to short. I just it's a side of the market that I personally don't particularly like because the volatility of the downside, as you can see how many candles it took to that high and how quickly it got back to the 277. So that volatility is a bit much for me. And also that when I'm short, for example, if you take that distill trade, we were chatting about this with Simon and Monday. If you take the distill trade and if I went short, even if I was right, it just still went ultimately to zero. I could only make $72. But on the long side, that upside is infinite. So yeah, the short side is not my cup of tea at the moment. At least not when it regards to stocks. Maybe when it comes to trading indices, when I start to trade indices again with when time permits, maybe I'll start considering shorting as well. But it's something I don't do, and I don't particularly if you're still learning, it's a side of the market that you'd rather avoid for now. And once you get stuff going, you can then take a shot at it. You're very welcome, Lucky. You're very welcome. Ladies and gents, I'm not seeing questions coming in. If you do have them, feel free to pop them in, either in the Q&A or the chat box. Otherwise, the video will be up in a couple of hours on YouTube. Do follow myself and Simon on Twitter at VillageTrader and Simon, find him on at SimonPB. Do follow the podcast. I apologize, the podcast was supposed to be out today, but I'm recording actually tomorrow, interviewing Keith McClacken on the podcast that will be out first thing Friday morning or next Wednesday as well. Ladies and gents, I'm not seeing questions coming in, so I'm going to park it here for this evening. Thank you very much for taking the time to join me this evening. Continue to trade well. Let's continue to learn, trade well, trade with discipline, and remember, to follow risk management rules when trading. Otherwise, it's been great. Thank you very much, and have yourself a great evening. Like I said, the video will be up in a couple of hours. Cheers, everyone.